Hey guys, good evening. Ron and Nate from FunctionBuilt-Aquatics.
What's up?
Hey.
So this is our 40-gallon tank. We just improved it by lighting up the tank. We are not putting any more leaves in there because we think there's way too much tannin. You can hardly see the fish in this tank. But now we cleared it up. You can see Angelus is crazy and he is actually swimming around like usual. And we also bought a little clown loach at Aquarium Center a few days ago, and we can't find him, but I'm sure my dad saw him a few times today.
Yeah, no, he's in there. He's just getting acclimated. He's spending some time basically in the back of the tank where all the roots are, and some of the decaying Indian almond leaves. But like Nate said, we decided to try to lighten up the clarity of this tank a little bit. The fish do like the water dark, but I kind of like this texture myself. I don't really want a crystal clear aquarium. That's not what this aquarium was initially intended for.
It's for tannin, some tannin.
This was going to be basic dark water setup, but in this tank, I do want to see the fish, and I also want the plants to be able to thrive. And you know, some of the plants were just hanging in there, but not growing because of the sunlight and the light not penetrating.
The tannin the lack of sunlight was being caused from the tannin because the tannin makes the water dark, which causes the light. It's kind of hard for the lights to get through to the tank, and it's also hard because the lily pads keep growing.
Yeah, the tiger lotus is blowing up. I'm cutting off a pad. You know, basically once or twice a week, I'm cutting off 1 or 2 pads. You know, but Nate brought up a good point. You know, Indian almond leaves
to make
some of the different husks and some of the driftwood. This tank does have a soil substrate with a sand cap. Now it has benefits. Some of the added benefits. What's one of the main benefits you think of adding the Indian almond leaves and the different types of wood? What does it do to the pH?
It lowers it, and it makes the fish like swim better, and it makes them happier that they live in a dark water tank. Some of our water doesn't have a tank like tannin, like the paludarium and the tan.
Yeah, the paludarium is really clear,
Yeah, it's perfectly clear.
And the fish that live in that tank typically come from clear, cool, running water. Now, you know, the pH in this 40-gallon is about 6.5. It's probably the highest pH of all the tanks we have. I have tanks that are in the 5s, and then tanks is you know, basically average out about 6.0. But this is the Riparium, and this tank is the one that's filtered by the terrestrial plants. As I said in the prior video that we shot, I'm thinking about adding the new Kessel pennant light and have that right over the planter, so I can give the plants a little bit more lighting, and maybe also penetrate a little bit more lighting down to the actual aquatic plants. I would, more than anything, I would really want that natural shimmer, and I'm curious to see how that shimmer effect will come up in a tank that you know, sort of has a tea-colored effect to it. This tank has some new loaches that we had added to it. As Nate prior in the video mentioned, we have a clown loach we just recently added about 4 or 5 days ago. I'm a big loach fan, and if I was, other than the wild betas that we have, the beta shanoids and the beta albi marginata, the only other fish I would ever be interested in breeding would be loaches. To me, they're fascinating, interesting, have pretty cool patterns, pretty cool habits, and you just don't really see a lot of people in the hobby getting involved in breeding loaches. And I've been thinking about maybe directing some of my attention towards the different types of loaches that are out there, and see if we can get some to reproduce.
So the little Angelus the big Angelus in here, I I was thinking about we should get him in his own like little 2.5, get him nice and fat, ready to breed, and then we should go to Aquarium Center or wherever.
No, I don't think the Angelus would appreciate that in that way, Nate. I think the best way to maybe possibly breed the Angelus
You just put the female in there.
is maybe get a couple, and leave them in this setup, and basically see if they can if they would reproduce in this type of setup. Now the Angelus is in the far right hand corner of this video.
He's just he's huge. And he's like
He's the largest loach we have in this tank. I won't, he's grown a bit. Yeah.
He's like crazy. He just goes around in circles like an idiot.
Very active. He's actually my favorite loach.
Yeah,
He's a cool pattern to him. He's they're pretty cool. They're an interesting fish. The other loach I really like is the one that's on the bottom middle of the tank. You might be able to see him in the bottom middle. I'll get a little closer, and that would be the sumo loach. Now sumo loaches are.
We had him in 20-gallon, and our little channel darter just beat up a white cloud. He teared the fin off him. But so speaking of the sumo loach, he was trying. We thought that the channel darter was gonna show his territory, beat up the sumo, and then he'll like not do so good in the 20. So we decided to move him in a warm tank, and now he is very active. He swims around with the loaches. He eats algae and stuff, and he likes going the little Pac-Man thing like usual.
Yeah, no, he's actually flourished rather well in this tank, and so have the Pandagaris. What else is in there? There's a couple other types of loaches in here too that are doing really well in this dark water Asian setup, and that's basically what I'm thinking about focusing more of my attention to. But this video is just basically highlight the fish in the Riparium.
Oh, I forgot something.
Yeah, Nick.
So we remember the little gourami that we put in there earlier.
Yes.
So he is doing awesome. He got a little bigger, and he is following well, I call them sundown gouramis, honey gouramis, whatever you want to call them. They're actually following the sundown gouramis with like in their pack, and I think that's fascinating because they're a different breed of gourami, and they're following around in their school pack.
Yeah, he's actually shoaling a little bit with the other gouramis in there, and he's a dwarf sunset gourami, and he came from one of my pairs, and unfortunately the male got sick and died right after he bred. Yeah, he got dropsy, believe it or not, and
it's like a rare disease.
Yeah, it's super rare to affect gouramis, but we've been pretty careful from then on, and making sure that we don't mix fish, and make sure that we keep our nets cleaned off and disinfected before we reuse them. But that's pretty much it. So this is Ron and Nate from FunctionBuilt-Aquatics. We hope you enjoy our Riparium, and we'll shoot another video of one of our other tanks during the week. Good night.
Peace out.